Hello, it's Michael from Fujifilm North America. Something quite exciting just happened recently. The Fujifilm XF 50mm f1.0 R WR autofocus lens just went on sale. A lot of people have been eagerly waiting for this lens since we announced it, and it was a surprise to a lot of people. The reason is this is currently the only autofocus f1.0 being made today. There are some f1.0 0.95 manual focus lenses out there, but any other autofocus f1.0 lenses that had been made have been discontinued now for several years. So the Fujifilm design and engineering team is very, very happy and proud of being able to bring this to market. Now there is the XF 56mm 1.2 lens that we have had for quite a few years, and this is also a fantastic portrait lens, but if I put them next to each other, you'll see that there is definitely a size difference. The 50mm 1.0 is about 20% taller. It's also almost, or it is twice the weight. So the 50mm 1.0 is 845 grams. So it's hefty, but that's because there's more glass in it, and it's bigger glass than in a 56 1.2, I should say. The f1.0 is certainly going to help with the autofocus in low light. It's going to let more light into the sensor, so the autofocus systems will work better. But of course, really what this lens was designed for was really smooth, beautifully rendered background areas that are out of focus. So you've heard that term bokeh, many times. Well, that's what it refers to. And part of the reason the 50mm 1.0 gives you much better background reproduction compared to the 56mm is it has 9 aperture leaves in it as opposed to 7 aperture leaves. And they're rounded, but the fact that there's more of them means that as the lens stops down, okay, that circle is much more of a perfect circle as opposed to something with segments on it. And that gives you better specular highlights, and it gives you much smoother roll-off as the image goes from sharp to unsharp. And this lens was definitely designed to give you that smoother roll-off. There's another reason for this lens being a bit heavier, which is that it is a WR lens, which means it's weather resistant, whereas the 56 1.2 is not weather resistant. So that is something else to keep in mind. The price on the XF 50mm f1.0 is $14.99. There is another 50mm lens on the market, and that is a 50mm XF 50mm f2, and this is under $500, and it's okay, much smaller, but it is 2 stops slower than that. So please check out the XF 50mm f1.0, and thank you for joining me.